I just wanted to point out about the Northern Ireland and a lot of the left wing in Northern Ireland talking about we got multiculturalism and this, that, and the other. We want harmony, this, that, and the other. There's a question, and that I want to answer. I'm answering. Why is there still sectarianism in Northern Ireland? Why have they still got the peace wall in Northern Ireland? That after a certain time at night, you cannot go to the other side. Is it because there's still animosity between ethnic, religious groups in there? And bear in mind, this is only England Protestants and Irish Catholics, certainly got a lot more culturally in common than immigrants coming over from Africa. Okay, so obviously the government thinks within their mind it's still necessary between them groups to still have a divide, still have sectarianism. If not, totally remove the peace wall, say everybody live together. And if they can't, then it's the answer to why people don't think other cultures as well can live in harmony. So you can't argue and say, listen, people coming from Africa, people coming from Arab countries, coming over here with their culture are going to live in harmony, but we cannot do it ourselves. It makes no sense. Because sectarianism persists in Northern Ireland today, whilst the 1998 Good Friday Agreement ended widespread violent conflict, ethno-religious division remains deeply embedded in politics, housing and education. So there's already a divide there, yeah? And they admit that by still having sectarianism. They admit that. So they admit that even within their own groups of white people, of people who follow different forms of Christianity, still need to be segregated. So they understand the concept of culture clashing and there being conflicts from it. Okay? They obviously understand that, otherwise they remove the peace wall and say just everybody live together. Why can't you all live in harmony? So when people are coming over from other countries who have a totally different culture, totally different religion, they're supposed to live within harmony. Explain to me how that makes logical sense. Education. More than 90% of children in Northern Ireland attend schools that are largely segregated by religious affiliation. So Northern Ireland segregate based on religion. Yet people, and this is a form of both different forms of Christianity, yeah. So they're admitting that they can't live together in harmony by its very definition of what sectarianism is. So why are they then not surprised when different cultures come over, totally alien cultures come over, and there's conflicts? Makes no sense. Government structures rely on mandatory cross-community power sharing between union and nationalist parties, which frequently face powerless and destructive overcompeting constructional preferences. Okay, so yeah. So I'll repeat again. So by its very definition, sectarianism is still happening in Northern Ireland. And in fact, the whole history of Northern Ireland is them again saying we want the English out. We don't want to be governed by the English. And violence between Protestants and Catholics. You only have to go to a Glasgow Rangers Celtic match to understand the hostility between these groups. And they're both forms of Christianity. So to say that if Islam comes over and starts becoming powerful in Vingy, there's not going to be clashes there, that's just fucking stupid. So you either believe in sectarianism and believe it's needed in order to keep these people segregated with a wall, or you don't. And everybody can live together in harmony. So the test for Northern Ireland is then, if you believe in multiculturalism, remove the walls, remove the peace wall, and let everybody live together. Cheers, guys.